it's another great day here at Kids Point, and I am so excited that you're here with me as we continue to focus on our life app of faith. And faith is trusting in what you can't see because of what you can see. It's kind of like the wind. You know, we can see what the wind does. We see the branches on the trees moving and things being blown all the way around. And we can feel the wind on our faces when we stand outside like this. Wind, 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 wind. You can feel that. And we can sometimes even hear the wind. We can't see it. We know it's there because of what it does. See, faith works the same way. We can't see God, but when we take a closer look, we can see the things that God has created. We can see what God has done in people's lives all throughout history. We can even see what He's doing in our lives today. So let's kick off our time together with some fun and a game that takes lots of focus. With a game I like to call, What's the Diff? And here's how the game works. I'm gonna put two pictures on the screen that are identical, except for 4 differences. Your job is to focus on the pictures to find those 4 differences. Sounds pretty easy? Well, guess what? You only got 1 minute to do it. Are you ready? Okay. Ready, set, focus.
All right, so the obvious one, we got there's one light missing on the left-hand train.
Yes.
Got that one down. There's I don't know what that blue thing is underneath the balloons or something. That guy's holding the train. I don't know what that is. Bag. It's missing right on the right hand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see it on the left side of the image. Go down 3 cars on the train.
Where else? We're missing 2 more differences. These are tricky, eh?
I know.
Down here on the track, the right-hand corner, the track is covered in dirt.
Well done. Yep, I see that.
And there's one more I'm missing. Where could it be? Does anyone know? Do you guys see it out there? I cannot find the other difference. Where could it possibly be? Is there a kid missing in the picture? No. The bear. He's got both legs in the bear picture.
Yeah, he looks like whatever it is.
I don't know what that is. Weird looking animal.
Time is up.
I got three.
Great job, guys. Did you find those 4 differences? You really need to focus on the pictures in order to find those differences. Listen, I'm so thankful that God's word is always true. See, it reminds me that we are all His children. He fills our hearts with freedom, hope, and faith. And don't ever forget who you are. So lift your voice with me now as we sing and dance along to our theme song this month, Only Focus.
This is my faith, this is my focus, all of my days. I know where my hope is, I'll live it loud, I'll shout the chorus, because I know, oh, you're always for us. And even when it's hard for me to see, I will trust in you, I will believe. And even when it's hard for me to see, I will trust in you, I will believe. And keep on looking to you for where I'm going, knowing you go there too. I'll keep on looking to you. I'll fix my eyes on you. You are my only focus. You are my only focus. You are my only focus. I fix my eyes on you. This is my faith, this is my focus, all of my days. I know where my hope is, I'll live it loud, I'll shout the chorus, because I know, oh, you're always for us. And even when it's hard for me to see, I will trust in you, I will believe. And even when it's hard for me to see, I will trust in you, I will believe. And keep on looking to you for where I'm going, knowing you go there too. I'll keep on looking to you. I'll fix my eyes on you. You are my only focus. You are my only focus. You are my only focus. I fix my eyes on you. Let's go. Hands in the air, hands in the air. I know you're there, I know you're there. Anywhere, oh. Anywhere. I fix my eyes on you, on you. Hands in the air, hands in the air. I know you're there, I know you're there. Anywhere, oh. I fix my eyes on you, on you. And keep on looking to you for where I'm going. No, you go there too. I'll keep on looking to you. I'll fix my eyes on you. You are my all, you are my only, you are my all. You are my kiss. I fix my eyes on you, on you, on you.
Ah, awesome job singing, guys. You guys are doing so great. I love seeing the pictures and the videos that your parents are sending. Did you know that they're doing that? Listen, today we're going to talk about a really important person who actually wrote most of what we call the New Testament of the Bible. Does anybody know his name? Paul, or maybe you might know him by another name, Saul. In today's story, we're going to hear all about his life before he became a Jesus follower and what happened to him on a really special road.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now for an amazing story, inspired by the book of Acts. Chapter 9, verses 1 through 9.
If anyone was set up for the good life, it was Saul of Tarsus. Not tartar sauce, but Tarsus.
Greetings.
Though Saul's family was Jewish, he was also born as a Roman citizen. Throughout his life, he was known by two different names.
You may call me Saul or Paul.
As a young man, Saul was sent to Jerusalem to study with a very famous rabbi.
Let's see. You have achieved 100% in classical literature, 111% in philosophy, and in ethics, 99%.
Oh, I vow to do better.
Saul became a Pharisee, just like his father before him. He carefully studied God's law and prayed 3 times a day. He knew a lot about the Old Testament.
Dear God, help me follow your laws 100% perfectly.
And like the other religious leaders in Jerusalem, though, Saul was caught off guard by the events that surrounded the life and death of Jesus.
Good riddance. Now that fool can't try to overturn God's laws anymore.
Haven't you heard? Jesus' follower says he's returned to life.
They've seen Jesus?
They've seen Jesus.
Those riffraff will slink away soon enough.
And against all odds, the followers of Jesus didn't fade away. In fact, the numbers began to grow. It was crazy how fast it happened.
5,000? You're telling me that 5,000 people are following the way of a dead man?
Well, technically, they think he's alive.
Not helping.
The religious leaders in Jerusalem did everything they could to squash the new movement. They even arrested a leader among Jesus' followers named Stephen. And you remember what happened to him? After telling lies about him, they dragged him outside the city.
This man is a disgrace.
See, Saul stood by it and held the coats of the men who picked up stones and threw them at Stephen until they killed him.
If Stephen had just let go of this Jesus nonsense, he wouldn't have had to die.
It's terrible. I heard people are following the way of Jesus in other cities too.
What? Inconceivable.
Saul quickly became known for hunting down people who believed in Jesus. People were terrified of Saul. See, when he discovered that some of these Jews in Damascus were following Jesus, he went straight to the high priest.
This Jesus thing is spreading everywhere.
I'm aware.
They think he's alive.
Hashtag, yup.
Someone should do something.
I hope you have something constructive to say.
Give me letters to the synagogues in Damascus so I can arrest all the believers and bring them back here.
Now you're talking.
And Saul set off to Damascus with the blessing of the high priest. He traveled with a group of men to arrest the believers they found. And after days on the road, they neared the city.
There it is.
We'll make it by lunch.
No, we must take time to pray.
As he did 3 times a day, Saul stopped and turned to Jerusalem to pray, certain God was on his side.
Dear Lord, help me to catch every single one of those despicable Jesus people.
But suddenly, there was a light more brilliant than the midday sun blazed down on Saul, and he staggered and he fell to the ground, squeezing his eyes.
Saul, Saul, why are you opposing me?
Saul gasped. It felt as though the whole earth shifted beneath him.
Who are you, Lord? I am Jesus. I am the one you are opposing.
The men around Saul stared in horror and confusion. Unable to speak, they could see no one, but they heard a sound perhaps like a roar of thunder.
Now get up and go into the city. There you will be told what you must do.
Saul reeled and he struggled to his feet and he finally opened his eyes, but he saw nothing, only darkness.
What's happened?
You tell us. We saw the light, and you fell, and this sound, and then you said...
I can't see.
What?
I can't see. I've been blinded.
That's not good. Here, take my hand.
And Saul grasped the man's hand and he shuffled a few feet forward.
Who are you talking to?
I think it was Jesus.
You heard Jesus?
I heard Jesus.
Saul's companions, they led him into Damascus, where he stayed at the home of a man named Judas.
Want something to eat?
I'm not hungry.
Or water?
Not thirsty.
For 3 days, Saul wrestled with himself and God. He came face to face with the very man he knew was dead, but discovered that Jesus was very much alive. But now blind, Saul was forced to see everything in a brand new light. See, Saul couldn't deny it. He had a direct encounter with Jesus. He had seen for himself that Jesus is very much alive, right? And could it be that everything Jesus' followers believed was actually true? Was Jesus actually the Son of God? Had Saul been wrong this whole time? See, his life was dramatically changed that day. Even though he was now physically blind, he was able to see everything in a completely new way, all because of Jesus. See, our bottom line says this: knowing Jesus changes the way you see everything. Everything that Saul thought that he knew about Jesus changed that day. He would never be the same. Everything changed for Saul when he met Jesus on that road. See, it's really true that God can change the way we see him and the way we see the world around us too. God helps Saul see the truth in a pretty dramatic way. God opens our eyes too in a lot of different ways. Once again, listen, our bottom line is really, really, really important. I want you to know. And you can tell me through text message or an email what the bottom line is. So knowing Jesus changes the way you see everything. And if you think about it, God has been helping people see him throughout his story. From the very beginning, he's been helping people see the world in a new way. A way that will allow them to make the wise choice. A way that will help them treat others the way they want to be treated. And he's been helping people understand who he is and what his purpose of their life might be. See, it's still true today. God may not show himself to us in a blinding light like he did for Saul. But there are lots of times when he shows us something new about him. Sometimes God can speak to you through something that you experience. Like when you spend time in nature and see what a beautiful world he's made. Or you listen to a song that reminds you how much he loves you. And sometimes, even when you go through something really tough in life, you realize how important it is that God is always with you. You might even see how God can use something that seems bad to do something you've never expected. Or maybe something really great happens and you're just so happy and excited, but most of all, you're grateful to God. Listen, let's look for ways that we can keep focusing on Jesus. So let's take a closer look at and see how we can discover new things about him every single day. Thanks again for coming to Kids Point, and I hope you guys have your Kids Point take-home bags and you're using your 3D glasses to find our special code for today. There's a number of you guys that did it, and you got your parents to send me a message, and you've been entered into a draw to win a prize at the end of the month. Listen, I am so excited for you guys. So make sure you have your 3D glasses. Find that special card and code today. And if you don't have a Kids Point bag, make sure you tell your parents to tell me, and we'll make sure we get one in your hands next week. Thanks again, guys. I'll see you guys next week at Kids Point. Take care.